Alright, let's set the scene. It was November 28th, 2025. It was Thanksgiving. It probably smelled like turkey in our kitchen, and I think there were birthday decorations up because, well, it was my birthday. I was the birthday boy. I turned 30 that day, and, I think I was feeling pretty optimistic about it. You might notice I'm having trouble setting the scene, unsure of what it was actually like, and that's because I am unsure of what it was actually like. I don't remember November 28th, 2025. It's really surreal. I found out while making this video that I have pictures from that day. Pictures that I don't remember taking, but there I am in my Coke sweatpants, hanging out with our dog, Percy. You might be wondering how I fell. This might be jumping ahead a bit, but some people made the joke that I must have taken an arrow to the knee, and, genuinely cracks me up, but, no. I didn't take an arrow to the knee, I fell over a dog gate. I fell over a dog gate and got a severe concussion. And I was told, no, I wasn't even drinking. It was just a weird freak accident in my home. Although, we do joke that Percy pushed me down the stairs. Perhaps it was part of his master plan. We did end up spending a lot of time together while I was recovering. All jokes aside, it was pretty scary.
Every light felt like needles in my eyes, and oftentimes I saw double of everything. And every noise felt like my brain was shaking in my head.
Not to get too dramatic about it. While I was sitting in the dark, I became kind of obsessed with Skyrim again. Maybe it happened when I hit my head, like it fired some neuron. Maybe it's because I find the Elder Scrolls game comforting. It makes me think of this quote from How I Met Your Mother. If you don't know, it's a sitcom from the 2000s. But it was when Marshall was explaining to Stella why Star Wars was so important to Ted. Here's the quote. This is Ted's favorite movie of all time. He watches it when he's home, sick with the flu. He watches it on rainy afternoons in the fall. He watches it on Christmas Eve. Ted watches Star Wars in sickness and in health, in good times and in bad times. Anyways, I think most of us have a piece of media like this, and, I think that The Elder Scrolls is mine, and more specifically, I think that for me, that is Skyrim. There are things that I love about Oblivion and Morrowind, but Skyrim's the game that I just keep coming back to over and over and over again. As I recovered more and more, I was able to do more than just sit in the dark. I was able to turn on Skyrim and just listen to it. My partner got me a coloring book, and I was able to build up my endurance to sitting in the light. Day by day, I was able to play just a little bit more. It genuinely felt like an achievement when I was able to sit and fish for a minute or two at a time. Like, I'll repeat, I was excited for Skyrim fishing, because it was the only part of the game that I could play. And during the time I wasn't able to play, but desperately wanted to, I started drawing the adventures of Konariki Darkheart. On screen now is a digital painting I finished for this video. I tried to record the process, but I don't know what I'm doing. I will figure out a better screen capture process, I promise. Just, please be patient with me. I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying. Eventually, I was able to start questing a little bit, playing, a little bit of the main story and playing out this character that I had already, drafted out. And I decided to play a stealth archer, because I didn't think I would be able to do magical effects or combat very well. So yes, I have found a morally just reason to play Stealth Archer. So this is my journal / Konaraki's journal. I started painting this when I was still pretty concussed. I just wanted to do something and I couldn't really, like I said, look at screens. So I painted this in gouache with ink for the outlines. I really enjoy painting, and I have so many of these leather journals that I just haven't used because they feel too nice. I feel like Concussion Me, like, finally saw the light. Like, what is the point of having so many of these leather journals if I never use them?
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
And, of course, the next one needed to be Rayloff saying that you're finally awake. I cannot imagine a more iconic sound clip from, like, any other video game. I originally took these just to, like, share with my friends. Kinda lucky, I guess. As you can see, a lot of time and layers went into this piece, and unfortunately that is why the paint is cracking now. If you get close enough to it, you can see it, especially in the background. I did too many layers of white, and unfortunately, for as much time as I spent on it, this is probably my least favorite painting, but it was a necessary stepping stone into painting again. And it's important to note that the reason I ended up doing so many layers of paint is because my dumbass forgot that, you know, water-soluble paint is water-soluble. So I was having to go back and, like, repaint the first page and then go back and repaint Rayloff, which is why most of the rest of this is in acrylic, because acrylic isn't water-soluble. I do like this painting a lot more. This is Lokir of Rorikstead. I did this painting with acrylic and colored pencil over top of that. I'm really happy with how it turned out. But this one was a journey too. You'll see that in the progress photos that I tried this weird thing where I originally painted it on like this see-through plastic like contact paper, and that was because I didn't want to get the gouache layer wet again, like underneath, because the Rayloff painting was with gouache. And it just looked weird and plasticky and wrong. So I ended up doing a like finish, like acrylic finish on the like blank page, and then I layered acrylic on top of that, and thankfully that was like enough to not get it too wet.
You're not gonna kill me!
Archers! Anyone else feel like running?
I really wanted to capture just how terrified he was on the cart. I feel like that would have stuck out to Konaraki. And here's the controversial Ulfric Stormcloak. Not that Konaraki would know this at this time. This is the only painting that I filmed any of the process of. I thought it would be like fun to try to film it because I had never tried to film myself painting before. So it was more like oh, let's see what this might be like. I didn't actually have the foresight that I might be, you know, doing a YouTube video at any point. Or rather, at that point. I mean, I know I'm making a YouTube video now. And yeah, this was done with ink, with a ink wash to make the paper look more aged. And I wanted this to look less like a full illustration and more like a journal entry. And this is Konaraki's first journal entry, which I will read not in a Khajiit accent because I am not brave. The caravan spoke the truth. The Nords are not very welcoming in this land of bitter cold. Khajiit only wished to look across the border. She meant no harm. Konaraki did not even know she was trespassing. This truth mattered little to the Nords. We have been on the road without stop for a full day. Khajiit is happy she gets to keep her sketchbook and painting supplies. One of the Nord soldiers was very agreeable. He did not see the harm in letting Konaraki draw in our hour of rest. The Nords say that they will continue our travels at first light. which isn't long from now. Konaraki hopes that the loud Nord prisoner will let her sleep. But Kashyyyk can't help but wonder, why are the Nords in such a hurry? A bit of foreshadowing for what is to come, also some slight retconning. I always thought it was strange that, they were just in Darkwater Crossing and now they're in Helgen. So, in my headcanon and the canon of this journal, they took a very short rest in the middle of the night, and it took like a day's journey to get from Darkwater Crossing to Helgen. This is another one I struggled with. I really wanted to get across that Hadvar is a respectable guy. Because, he is a good guy. I feel like he's done a little dirty by the intro sequence. I mean, he's on the side of the people who are trying to, cut your head off. Because of that, I find it really hard to justify going with Hadvar over Ralof, especially since it has this, prison break element to it that I find a bit more compelling. These two paintings were referenced from a classical painting, and I think that sort of contributed to how difficult these two paintings were, because I was having trouble deciding what elements I should keep from the painting and what elements I should imagine for myself, and it's probably not obvious just looking at the reference what elements I referenced. I referenced Caesar's face for Hadvar's face, and I referenced this Roman soldier for Hadvar mourning a fallen imperial. The title of the painting is a bit of a mouthful. It's Vercingetorix throws down his arms at the feet of Julius Caesar. The picture was painted in 1889 by the French artist Lionel Reher. I butchered that so badly. I'm so sorry to anybody who's watching this who's French. Anyways, I struggled with this one, but unlike the Ralof painting, I actually really like how this one turned out. And before I forget, this was painted with acrylic and ink.
What in oblivion is that?
Painting was so satisfying to work on. I really enjoyed the pop of bright red as you turn the page. The only issue I had with the initial sketch was that Alduin definitely looked too nice. He definitely looked like a How to Train Your Dragon, and, not like the World Eater. I kind of forgot how satisfying it felt to paint something, and just from the get-go it clicks, and you enjoy what you're making just right away, and it just feels so satisfying every step of the process. And this was just, 2-3 colors, 4, I think, of acrylics, and then the black is in ink. So it's very not any sort of crazy shading. It's very flat colors, but I mean that is how I kind of like to paint, just vibrant flat colors. But I am working on doing stuff more illustrative like this. But back to Alduin, that was kind of an early reveal. I had a pretty clear vision from the get-go that I really wanted something impactful and giving this sense that this really just stuck in Konaraki's mind. And I think that definitely comes across. I'm really proud of this one. I wish there was more to say about it, other than the fact that this marked the point where I definitely felt less concussed. I started going outside again, even if it gave me a bit of a headache. I just, wanted to be out there, and I think that honestly helped a lot with my outlook and even my recovery. This is the scene where you and Ralof or Hadvar leave the cave. This was done in gouache with accents of acrylic at the end, like Alduin there at the top. Just areas that I really wanted to pop. I don't love this painting, but I don't hate it either. Working on it has inspired me, though, to work on more landscapes, which I think is a good thing. Next, I thought it would be cool to do some artwork of some alchemical ingredients. This was a really fun exercise because I had to think about what the blue mountain flower would like taste like, what its textures would be like. Is it like lavender? Is it like green tea? And I had her right about that. The blue mountain flower. Gunariki is not sure of this flower's true name, but it does grow on the side of this mountain. She noticed when she ate of its soft petals that she felt a little better, but she could not put a paw pad on the feeling she got as she ate the waxy, bitter leaves. Perhaps there is more to discover. And then, I have healing put as the first discovered quality of the blue mountain flower. The flower was done entirely in acrylics this time, and the journal entry was done with ink. Also, for all of the journal entries, I have been looking at Skyrim journals like in-game in order to try to get the font as close as I possibly can. And here's the last journal entry for what I have so far. I had a lot of fun with this one. I really enjoyed trying to make it look like aged paper. I also added some subtle character things, like she has the mage light there instead of a campfire, because I do use restoration spells and alteration spells as this character. Date unknown. This one has found camp, but she found it abandoned. Strange they left without packing. Perhaps they were frightened by the dragon. The image is burned into Khajiit's mind. Forever she will see the fire, feel the hot wind as she ran. Thunderous shouts still ringing in Khajiit's ear. Words? From a dragon? Madness. Gunariki cannot make sense of all this. Perhaps she will ponder it later. The Loudnord prisoner escaped with this one. He went to the Riverwood. Khajiit will follow once she has found her caravan. Hopefully they are not too displeased that Gunariki made for a poor scout. So yeah, the subtext here is that she was lying in her first journal entry when she said she was just having a look across the border. In actuality, she was a part of a trade caravan that was hoping to join Rasad. And I tied this into something that's kind of cool. If you turn around and don't follow Ralof and instead head back to Helgen, you can find something pretty interesting and gruesome that, for whatever reason, if you head to Riverwood, as soon as you enter Riverwood, it despawns. So I'm going to head to that locate. Hello? Are you supposed to be dead? What are you... Don't hello me! Where are you going? I guess Skyrim's just gonna Skyrim, especially when you're filming. You're gonna want to enter the gate and go through Helgen, and then enter the other gate and go on this road. Walking down the road, you will find an ambushed Khajiit caravan. Gunariki tracked down her caravan, only to be met with carnage. She gathered mementos from her former companions who had helped her leave Cyrodiil, the home she had grew up in. Night was falling, it was getting cold and starting to snow. She had some injuries from the bandits that had ambushed her. She needed refuge, and she needed to find it fast. Luckily, she finds a cave. She's able to kill the bandits at the entrance, but for some reason, she doesn't feel alone. Alright, I'm gonna call it there. Sound off in the comments, I guess, about which cave you think she's in. Before I get on to the rest of the video, I want to talk about the response I received on Reddit, because honestly, without it, I probably wouldn't have finished this video. I don't want to get into it right now, but I have some pretty serious self-confidence issues. For a long time, I've wanted to be an artist online, but I've been too afraid to really put myself out there. I do a lot of work and just don't post about it. I decided last week to just start posting whatever, even if it was something silly or older stuff I just hadn't posted yet, like this book. I'm pretty sure those photos and the video footage is from March, and it's now July. meant a lot to me to have so many people connect with my work and feel inspired by it and wanting me to post more. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, and I'll try not to disappoint anybody. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like. Did you prefer me talking about the painting process? Did you prefer me telling more of a story? I kind of preferred the way I did it at the end. I can only say I painted this in acrylic so many times, and I didn't have process photos for the last two. I really enjoyed making this, so I hope some people enjoy watching it. Next time I'll have video footage of me painting. Fingers crossed that it's decent footage. We'll see what I can work out. Till then, have a good one. Bye. You gonna help? Are you gonna sniff the mic some more? Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Yeah, you're gonna help me. You're gonna help me do the voiceover. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Oh. Big yawn. Big stretch.